we have one half of our quarterfinals are complete. Congratulations to Morocco and Senegal, who've made their way to the semifinals. They're not the finals yet. The semifinals of AFCON 25. We're here to talk about it, really. We've seen some interesting football, cards galore, referees making themselves the center of a half. And of course, we have two semifinalists. We got out of here. Poor Cameroon. I must unfortunately let you know that as you ushered out South Africa, I can indeed tell you, since you ushered them out, you can also find your way to the airport. It's easy to find in Morocco, allegedly. But we're going to talk about that. Guys, the cast, recurring characters, people will show up and come through. But Anu, how are you feeling after after Cameroon falls to Morocco? I almost gave you a dream there. I almost gave you a dream. How do you feel post that matchup where Cameroon falls 2-0?
Well, I am proud of how well this team has gone far. I will say that like I said, this team has so many new faces in it that we were like I remember I was watching their last match against South Africa. I was sitting with another Cameroonian, and we were just going through the different apps to see who these players and where they came from because all these players are very new to me. The only player I knew from the last AFCON team was Tolo Nuhu of the Seattle Sounders.
Mhm.
So this is a very young squad, and I really do hope that they get to play some friendlies for the World Cup. But the next step really is to try to get back into AFCON qualifications and hopefully try to make that 2030 run.
Hmm. No, it's very true. Like, I mean, for you especially, it was an interesting year again. For Cameroon, we saw what, two teams before, before two squads, two coaches, but the quarterfinal run for them isn't bad, right? I would say I'll start talking about the game. I think there was a few things that tactically they did wrong, but I think for them a good run getting to the quarterfinals, I think, sits very well for what you would hope for them, especially coming off having a poor, and it wasn't even a poor, right? They weren't poor in World Cup qualifiers. They just ran into a hot team, right? In many ways, they are the Italy of Africa in terms of they've been performing well, but in their group, there was a Capo Verde team that decided, no, we are going to be scorching hot and we will take everyone, and you guys were the victims in this situation. And then once you got to the playoff, you just couldn't get the result versus DRC. And that's it. So I wouldn't say you've been poor. They've been playing well. Now it's just a matter of there's nothing more to push for. Can you get some friendlies in those March windows? Can you continue to integrate more players into the system? Is this the right coach for you for the next 2 years, shall we say? Getting ready for the 27 and then the 28 AFCONs. Let me ask you that question. Like, how did you feel for the new coach with this? I know there's some unfamiliarity for you before Cameroon. Did you think that the coach did himself enough to endear himself to get another year and a half, 2 years, maybe have another AFCON run?
No, I don't really think so. To be honest, he did himself a good job, especially the fact that he was brought upon very suddenly from his club manager
Hmm.
skills, in Cameroon. But if we're to make a good Afcon run again in 2027 and 2028, and of course World Cup run, we do need a more experienced manager.
Okay. That I, that's I don't know if he like Cameroon is interesting for me because I'm not sure if they were necessarily great. I don't know if they were necessarily poor. I will say and once we got to the playoff rounds, the flaws were there, right? The flaws for me were there, right? And against South Africa, it's something I'll continue to say. If South Africa has better finishers, you guys lose that game, right? The runs you were giving them, you guys were able to get the goals. And all credit to you for that. You got the goals. But defensively, you looked a little bit susceptible. And that was the thing. I think physically, you guys were up for, you could have been up for Morocco. But if you gave up the chances, that you were giving to South Africa to Morocco, it was just going to turn into. I thought it would have been worse. We saw a Morocco team that once they scored, I mean, after the next 15, it kind of looked like they looked like the Morocco of old, where they just said, "We have a goal, cool, shut it down. No one's doing anything. We
I
will."
mean, he basically it was like watching blood sport. It was like watching blood sport. We were just chopping at the bits and everything. Well, you consider the fact that both our teams are named after lions: the Indomitable Lion, the Atlas Lion,
Yeah,
just a lion fighting. You see out in the wilderness.
true. Well, we can confirm that the Indomitable Lions were in fact indomitable. So sitting there for where they are, I, for you, right? We'll go into the actual. Uh, oh, don't worry, son. We'll get to the comments in a minute here as well. But for you, when you look at Morocco, right? You look at the run. What do you think for you as a fan of the team? To throw in Mo into this, what do you think the team needs? Yes, we know AFCON is next. Maybe some friendlies for some World Cup teams. I know I have to keep on saying it like that, but just the reality of that. But like, when you look at how they played, what are the spaces that you think that they need? Is it better finishing? Is it more creative? Is it more solid in the midfield? Is it a better goalkeeper? Is it just better luck with health? Like, when you look at their run, what are some of the things that stood out for you in terms of what you think that team needs to build onto that performance, so that maybe next time it's the semifinals versus bowing out in the quarterfinals for Cameroon?
I tell you, Bueno he needs a partner.
Okay.
Definitely needs a part. We need a partner. That's what I wasn't happy about how we didn't put in Vincent Abubakar into the
Mm,
roster. He probably would have been one to get off. He probably would have been well needed to get off the bench and actually come and put in those goals we need. So I say for Eto, we need to get a stuff with nine. We need a number 9 up top to complement Bueno, and of course we will probably need going to need some midfielders and also replace Tolo, who is probably going to be
mhm.
gone by the time after 2027. So we need a new defensive leader there in the back.
No, a new defensive leader wouldn't be a bad spot. I, I mean, for me, for every African team, I say the same thing: keep adding talent wherever you find it. You'll find space for it on the pitch. Just not everyone has the whole food shopping that a Senegal has, where they can be like, oh, what's this? We have a premium young striker from France. Yeah, put it in the cart. We can afford that. Like, not everyone in Africa has that Whole Foods cart. Listen, you rich African, you rich Senegalese, you. Oh man, but I think for them, just keep on adding talent. There's more things, and the thing that we've constantly repeated over this time frame is just because the World Cup has widened in terms of teams. That means more players are looking at that, which means you have the opportunity to recruit more players to get into these continental tournaments, and that'll grow their exposure and such. So I think for them, yeah, keep on adding talent. I would say specifically there were. I want to keep going back to the Algeria point against DRC. Tactically in the game, like managing the game well, was something that I don't think Cameroon did well. Now, look, I will be honest. Based off my approach, I don't think the refs were great in this game. Right? If people want to claim that the ref had like a Atlas Lions kit on, I won't fight you on it.
I
I
mean,
will not fight you on that.
we already saw the complaints from the or we already saw complaints from our camp about
Mm,
how we're having an Egyptian coach, especially when it came how our rivalry was with Egypt for all those years.
yeah.
Of course, they're 7-time AFCON winners. We're 5-time AFCON winners.
Mhm.
So, and then of course you go for, and then Nigerians also saying the thing. There's been a lot of North
Lions.
African
Mhm.
referees that are in this AFCON, and it feels like they're giving more favor towards them, and just while leaving us in the dust.
Mhm.
Uh,
And Mo, you can hop in here because I'll say something to build off of that. Because while that is there, I still have another point to make. But jump in there, Mo.
uh, I think, and I think pretty much all of the teams had almost, I guess, decline the original request for those refs.
Yeah.
But then I'm starting to wonder then is that maybe CAF, is it more of a continent issue now that you don't have enough referees in your
Hmm.
Rolodeck to come up to? Because we saw on the group stage there was some awful refereeing, right? But
Hmm.
then there's the obvious one, so they get sent home. Then after that, there's the but managed the game, but a few errors. So,
Hmm.
and I was starting to wonder, is like we have 54 nations. You're telling me you're not able to get two good referees per nations at
I
the bare
did
minimum?
read. I
Do you
did
train
read.
them right? I mean, we always complain about, European refs, right? They're always, when they're doing bad, there's always someone else that's being picked up. Here,
Yeah.
it looks like it was the very bad one were able to be pushed away, and then questionable. So I always felt that if you have a Western and an Eastern Africa team, there shouldn't be a referee from there.
Agreed.
Pick from someone else.
Hmm.
And that way you can kind of rotate and make sure you don't have those question mark. But at the end of the day, the way I started to see it, even for the ref that we've had, put the ball in the net.
Yeah.
At the end of
At
the
the end,
day,
yeah.
you can complain as much as you want. If you don't perform, we've all complained of referees at all time. But at the end of
Hmm.
the day, if you watch the score, is that usually the one the loudest is the one that's on the bad side of those results.
True. And to that point, I'd say you could criticize how the refs were refing the game, and I'll give you that platform. But Cameroon, stylistically, how they were playing right into the hands of the Moroccans, right? You can say, okay, too many, they were giving too many fouls. Sure, I can give you that. But you know what you don't do? You don't have a buildup that puts the ball right in the heart of a press, right? Like the amount of times I saw them saying, you know what, guys, forget the right side, right? Al Kabi comes in and says, listen, forget the right, you're going to the middle. And instead of trying to maybe take another touch and going out wide and building while everything's coming through, they said, no, let's go to the middle where there's someone. There's a deflection, and then Morocco's back on the counter, right?
Yeah.
The amount of times that, from a standpoint of just tactics, they weren't helping themselves either, wasn't helping. And so for me, it's like if you want to argue about the refs, fine, argue about the refs. But on the pitch, they weren't there to me. Right? Morocco made the most of their opportunities. You want to argue how they got them? Sure, be my guest. But when Cameroon had opportunities to imprint on the game, they weren't there. And that's where something, again, the DRC Algeria game, managing the game, understanding what type of game it is, right? The
Mhm.
one thing that I'll always love, and the one thing me and Nelson always talk about, I think the second Senegal versus Brazil game, right? Once Brazil figured out that friendly, once Brazil figured out how the ref was calling the games, they're like, okay, this is how we play. This is how we're playing then, right? And I find a lot of times with some and it's not all African teams, but it'll happen. You'll play, and then they want to play a certain style, and the ref will say it's not going to be played this way. How do you adjust to the confines of the game? I think if Cameroon does a better job of that going forward, and that's where I say like managing the game. Also in terms of like when the game was getting too stretched, what were they doing, right? When the game was getting too bogged down, were they trying to stretch the game out? Were they trying to counter what was happening? I think when it comes to those moments, if Cameroon can improve there, it bodes well because again, the team is talented. No one's ever
Yeah.
going to deny the talent that they have. But just in those moments where if you could manage those spaces better, I think you have a better shot. But at the end of the day, the Morocco did what Morocco did, and my my Hakimi agenda lives on, and I don't worry about that there. But we are here. If anyone wants to comment on that, feel free. I'm going to go through some of these comments because I know there's people who are here who are making comments. I want to make sure we get to them before we
Like
start
someone my
talking about
name
the
got
tactics and the
mentioned a few
breakdowns of the
times.
game. Oh yes, oh yes.
And I think the other part that we I like to also refer to when it comes to like the referees that they were all talking is, the first 10 minutes. That's when you figure out what kind of
Hmm.
referee you have and if they're in the mood or not, right? They were kind of, and they know your style of play, right? So they all do their
Hmm.
homework, so they know they already have a preset determination on what player is going to test them with bad fouls, who's going to be doing the diving, who's going to be doing the talking, because you can see him, right? A lot of
Mhm.
the players, when they rush, the referee already has, I know you're going to talk a lot. So they're going to
Mhm.
walk away. You touch me, that yellow card is like halfway out. Every time someone bumps rush them, you see the card is yellow card is halfway out of their pocket. It's like just say something stupid, touch me, and then you're out. And the Mali game have shown that. So I think that 10 minutes figure out what the referees knew that any teams that's a little bit more, we'll say, African tone will play it rough because they know they're stronger, and that Morocco's style of play is not really on the physical side of things.
Mhm.
Mali did
Oh,
that to
yeah.
Morocco, and you saw what happened. So it's when they need to start figure out, the coaches themselves need to start figure out a style of play and not say we're gonna stuck of what we have. Mali paid the price as well.
Mhm. No, and we'll get to those sides as we
Also,
go, but
yes,
no doubt. But let's get through some of these comments because I know you guys are here. Chorus, Courtney, if I see you, if this was Molly's keeper, is that bad? I don't want to see the second string keeper. Hey,
it
as a
was not bad.
goalkeeper, was he that bad or was he?
He was not that fluke,
Oh,
that error he made, but he
yeah.
saved them in a lot of things too.
I
Well,
mean,
that
yeah,
game.
you gotta,
Yeah, go on.
you gotta put Senegal scored scored 6 goals in the last 2 games. For
Mhm.
Mali to maintain a 1-0 loss is amazing.
And one
Yeah,
player down. So
Yeah,
I
with
think
one play,
he did
yeah,
his job, but
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
That I agree
a-
with. They did his
and that's a
job. Yeah.
player that's playing nowhere near. If we were to grade where he was playing, I forgot. It's it's probably a what I mean, what, fourth division if you put him in Europe,
Yeah.
and he was playing against what, championship final, championship winners,
Yeah.
and
Hey.
he only
Well.
got allowed one goal when he actually the one that had the hiccup. I would
Mhm.
say
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like
here
Champions
you
League
go.
winners, yeah, Champions League winners, former previous African winners,
Yeah,
Scudetto winners, all
Mhm.
that.
yeah. That trophy case of those that Senegalese team is nowhere near. So
Oh, yeah. And
yeah,
like I don't think Mali was like of all the games that we saw, we said, okay, Mali versus Senegal. Now, Mali can win this game, but it should be Senegal on paper, right? And so, I mean, they afforded themselves well. So I have no issues with how the goalkeeper was. Dima Maghrib, okay, I see you, Prince Hood. Trinity's always with that. I see that. Morocco did what was expected of them, but it wasn't easy. That's the thing. I'll give Morocco credit in terms of I've said this throughout there. Maybe I've been saying this, echoing this a lot. The idea of the crown of expectations maybe is weighing on them a bit after the Tanzania game. Watching them against Morocco, there were call me crazy. There were points where it looked like okay, we have the lead. Okay, shut it down. Okay, we good. We're just okay. We got one. Okay, we're good. We're good. Just get it through. It. There are moments when you look at them, you're like, is this their best? I wonder what they look like if they can actually keep the pedal to the metal for a full 90 if they decide to versus a team that'll push them that way. Like, because I'm curious, Cameroon was a good matchup for them. I think their semifinals are either Algeria or Nigeria. So if it's Nigeria, I wonder if it's are they going to go pedal to the metal in
Let's
that
see,
type
put
of a
it.
game or sit back? I'll throw it up in a second here because well, Wikipedia has it as it's Algeria or Nigeria. So we'll see there. Are they here for the cup? It
Yeah.
wasn't if it wasn't clear what their ambition is now. I agree, Prince Hood. Morocco is not South Africa, mate. I know, Sansan, but that was the point. That was the point. If you're giving up these type of chances, then this is going to be the issue. All right. Yes. Hey, look at this. You got your own little fan crew. Well, look at you go. You got friends everywhere. I don't have
I
a strong Cameroonian
I
base
try
here.
my
I'm
I,
sorry. I'm trying. I'm trying.
what?
At some point they'll get here, but they are
Hey,
not there. And then let me get to this comment. Here comes the victim mentality. Blame the ref. How about Mbueno getting locked up by Mazraoui? How about that? That's why I said in two different segments. On one, if you want to blame the refs, cool. But tactically, Morocco was better. Hands down, Morocco was a better side. And so it's if you want to blame the refs on fouls and set pieces, sure. The rest of the game, you put yourself in those positions where now it's just, why is the ref always giving them calls? Well, I don't know. Don't turn the ball over in the midfield and create a counter and then let them, build up or over around the box. Maybe that'll give you a better chance for that as you build up. And then Steph has, nobody's talking about, we'll talk about the Moroccan Messi. Anytime I see Messi compared to any player, listen, there's too many, but I will give him his credit. Listen, Brahim has come as advertised, okay? The boy has come in and has been the best player, and we haven't, because he's been injured, haven't had to mention Hakimi too much. But Brahim, this team is running through for Brahim Diaz. That has been Morocco's best player so far. Diaz is a problem, I agree. Diaz has been the best player at AFCON, no debate, I agree. Yep, Cameroon kept running into the Moroccan jail cell in the midfield. Tactically, they go on and listen. Hey, defend your people, defend yourself.
Yo, Stefan, jeez, man. Jeez,
No
man. Honestly, yo, like I said again, man, we were just giving Morocco the ball. We were just giving it to them.
Yeah. I'm rewatching. I just rewatched the first second goal.
Yeah,
that was a free header.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it just if you keep on giving them set pieces, you'd hope that after the third set piece you defend, you can defend a set piece. And by the third one, it was just their goals are coming from here. I made a mental note and said the goals are coming off of set pieces, and both goals came off set pieces. So defend.
That's how you do on set pieces. Is hey, the first one's going to go too much to the left. The other one goes too much to the right. Guess what? The other one is in the net. It's just normal math, right?
They're playing like Arsenal, set piece FC, right?
Just throwing that in there.
They're playing like Arsenal.
Who?
Yeah. Okay. I understand. I forgot you're a Chelsea supporter, man. I forgot, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna shrink when they ask me, who do you support again? Wolves! Yay! We gotta win. Okay, I'm dead.
Yeah, we need to talk about that part.
I'm dead inside about that team. Okay, so let's sell another Nigerian striker and then we'll go to the championship. There was no outlets, no diagonal runs, no ability to get past the Moroccan press. They were smothered worse than the Western Sahara. Steph, I appreciate you right now. I appreciate you so much right now. Your harshness is needed.
It was like a goosey in the pot, man.
Hey, just smothered. But that's where I look at. Son, I told you, son, where's Ghana? We are watching from the stands, okay? We've been in the stands, okay? Club seats, okay? We're just on the outside. We're right beside the supporter section.
Y'all still on Dead in December. That's what you guys are doing.
Listen, hey.
Man, what are you talking about front seats? You're not even in the country.
Listen, it's like club seats right beside. We got the cheap club seats right beside the supporter section. If you look very closely, you can see two disappointing Ghanaians. It could be us.
Accra.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're trying to sell Antoine Semenyo again. He's going to City, so this is all we got. It's all we got these days. But no, Ghana's nowhere near here. But
no, you're on the couch, my friend. You're not even on the continent.
We didn't decide to go because it was too hurtful for us. Let's be honest. We saw Sudan get through, and we're like, and that was our one saving grace. Ghanaians was like, well, at least the coach is Ghanaian, so Kwesi Appiah went through, and we'll take that.
That low, huh?
Listen, it's tough times, okay? And I got Ghanaians. Listen, if I tell you the arguments I get with Ghanaians about hey. Did you know that they weren't trying to make AFCON? They really want to make. Really, we're gonna do that now? Stop it. We were poor. Just admit it. We were poor.
I know, right?
We were friends, but no, don't even start.
Hey, this is a peaceful stream, okay? There's no Nigerians.
Hey, son, don't start no war here, man.
No,
don't start a war.
It's a peaceful stream. I won't disagree, but it's a peaceful stream.
Don't start a war, man.
No,
but when we flip it over to Morocco, right? We flip it over to Morocco. they're in the semis, right? As it stands right now, they're going to be playing the winner of the out. If Wikipedia is to be trusted, they're playing the winner of Nigeria and
Algeria.
Algeria. Yes.
dude. That's like I mean,
Did they?
we were got a
Yeah.
crazy matchup tomorrow with that squad, and then with those two teams, and then that could be the semifinal right there. That'd be crazy.
Yep. But for Morocco, did they do enough for you in this game to label them as the favorites to win this? Or do you still, I mean, we asked for your top three in our last video, but did Morocco do enough for you in this performance to tell you that they should be the favorites from here on out, from the semifinals to finals, assuming they make it? Or do you think it's still it's still the field for you?
I mean, for to be honest, if Nigeria gets through tomorrow, which I hope they do, Morocco's cooked.
Okay.
Like Morocco's cooked, man. Because Nigeria is probably like Nigeria is like one of the most dominant teams I've seen in this competition, next to Senegal. And the good thing is the fact that Morocco was able to avoid them is a good thing. But and like I said, that Algeria Nigeria match will decide who goes to the final because I do not have any hope for Morocco in that next round.
Okay. That's a very strong take. Mo, what do you think about that take? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it?
I won't say they're a clear favorite yet. I want to see what the other games looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Because these two games were showed okay. I want to see
Mm.
those four teams on the other side that pretty much could have made it to the finals themselves if they didn't
Yep.
have to play against each other. That's their true test on who is going to make it pretty much to the final. If Algeria wakes up and Maza, the young prodigy from Germany, decides, oh, Ibrahim, who? No, he will show it.
Mm.
If Nigeria wakes up, Osimhen, there's been all of that talk. He has a point to prove. I think the most dangerous thing is a pissed off Osimhen.
Mm.
So if he shows me that he can roll, Algeria easily, then here comes trouble. I think the most complete team at this moment, I will say it's Cote d'Ivoire. The way
You.
they've been able to roll in their group stages
Mm-hmm.
for the champs, it has not give us too much question mark just yet for the champs. So I give them the
Mm.
benefit of the doubt that they're able to continue rolling from the disaster of before
Yeah.
and still win it and now easily run through. So if Nigeria can show me, yes. Algeria, if they beat Nigeria, that'll be an upset for me. Because yes, they
True.
have Mares and Maza, a handful of guys. But if they can beat a Nigeria team that's stacked, that'll be another question. But
It, it's a
it,
it's a good point to bring up. Like, if I'm gonna hate on those two teams in this matchup, okay, I'm saying this now. If I'm going to hate on those two teams, the Nigerians who will come in at this point, for the argument's sake, I am hating on Nigeria for argument's sake. Okay, this is their biggest game. This is their toughest game of AFCON so far. If I'm going to hate on Nigeria, I say this is their toughest game. Now, to their credit, they have beaten everyone they were supposed to beat, right? And so if they look like they've looked against Algeria, it's like, okay, okay, we see this. But if I'm gonna hate on Nigeria, I'll say, who have they beat, right? Santon says it. Who have they really beat, right? They beat Mozambique, cool. They beat a Uganda team that I overrated. Uh, okay, they beat a Tunisia side who couldn't get past Mali with in the round of 16, and then who was the other team in their group? Doesn't matter. They got 3 points, right? And so if I'm going to be if I'm going to hate, I'm going to say they've not faced any real competition till this point. On the flip side, if I look at Algeria, Algeria had Burkina Faso. Cool. However you want to rate that. Cote d'Ivoire sends the regards. Right. If you want to look at who Algeria takes DRC in a game, I think they managed that game well. The one thing I'm curious about with them is if the game turns into a up. I think Nigeria is up for this game. Being look, let's go bar for bar. I think Nigeria is going to walk into this game and be like, Algeria, hello, we hear you like to run. And your desert foxes, cool. Guess what? We like to run too. I think Nigeria wants to go. Look, the higher scoring the game is, I think that's what Nigeria wants. Nigeria doesn't want a 1-0 type of a game. And so can Algeria put on, or can they control and manage the game enough so it doesn't turn into a track meet? If they can, they have a good chance to. But this will be probably the best offensive team Algeria plays. And so can they handle all gas, no brakes? Meaning, hey, in moments you're going to have to flip it over, right?
Yeah,
So,
and plus you cannot wait till the very last minute. If
mhm,
Nigeria is not going to give you that much open space the
agreed.
last minute to kill them, so if you're going to sit back and let Nigeria dictate the game, they will kill you very briefly because you want to challenge their defense, right? You want to go
Yes.
past their midfield, so then you because Lookman and Osman is not probably gonna come in defense as much. So if you
Hmm.
pass that first line of defense, which is not really a defense, then you have better chances. But if you leave that ball up top,
Agreed.
it will
But
get to 3-0 very quickly.
it's a game that for Nigeria, if Iwobi has a big performance, it's like I like how Nigeria looks then. Because if you're telling me you're getting a good performance from Iwobi, plus you have Lookman as your camp coming through, then you have Osimhen, and then when Lookman looks at Osimhen, they see nothing but love in their eyes or, fire, whatever they want to choose. Like if you give me a solid Iwobi performance, I think it helps. But again, I think those are the questions I have for both sides in terms of when are you going to go to those 2 points, because who that's me putting on the hater aspect of it, looking at that. But I don't know, it's going to be a fun matchup regardless. Like, I mean, when you look at those two teams, like, do you think there's credence to the idea that Nigeria hasn't played anyone? Do you think Algeria is the toughest team Nigeria has played? And on the flip side, do you think Algeria can handle a side that is all offense and all gas and maybe not as much breaks? You think a team like Algeria can handle that?
I mean, Algeria can try. Can try. I mean, they got away with. I mean, them getting away with that 1-0 against DR Congo was convincing. But like I said again, even if for Nigeria, if Osimhen can't shoot, Lookman is right behind them, and if Lookman can't shoot, you got Adams out there too. Or if Adams, Owobi, Chikwueze,
Mhm. Well, right,
they're
Adams is
just straight
gone.
shooters.
Is he still with the camp? Mo, do you have that info?
I'm
Is
sorry.
is Adams left the team because his mom was ill a bit? So is he back with the team or
Oh,
no?
that I do not know.
Oh, oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah,
I have not followed that.
yeah, it came up. So I'm not sure if he came back or not, but that's something to watch. Because if it's not him, I assume that it'll be Chikwueze will come in and he'll be the replacement on that aspect. But still, it's one side versus the other kind of pushing through, and I think that's a fair point. Let me get to
All
some
right,
of these
so
count. Yeah,
yeah, so
go.
fellas, I'll have to drop because I have to go coach the young
The
fellas.
young prodigies.
Yes.
Before you drop off, give me a quick thought on Mali and Senegal. Njai gets the goal in 27th minute. Like, how do you feel about Senegal going to the semis in their matchup here? What did you think about their quarterfinal matchup?
I think they just played the safe way, I think, to play the game. So that one error, and while there was two shots that was missed on post, as well. So I think he was a solid defensively, quite. Um, and I think he did just play it safe. I think the 1-0,
Mm,
um, the younger guys when they came in, that's where you start to see the post and the runs because they wanted to show that they were capable of. Um, was it Jackson that missed that open?
Yeah.
That one should have made it to 0. And then there was those 4 chances, so it could have been at least 3 or 4 in the
Mhm.
net. But then after that, they just defensively they knocked it out of the park. So I was okay how they managed the game without having to all, like you said, right, all gas no pedal.
Mhm.
Because what it showed me in previous tournaments in soccer in general is that if your team is about to score 3, 4, 5 goals in one, the second one's not gonna have 4 or 5. As
Mhm.
you can see, they score 6 goals in 2 games. The third one's kind of slow down.
Yep.
So if they can kind of concentrate on playing their way to make sure defensively in the midfield they're covered, then after that, I have no concern for anything else. And
No, that's yep.
Mali just tried one stupid way to get a yellow card
Yep.
because just back off, don't stop talking. Then that's it.
Yep. Manage your emotions. I will see you when I see you.
Chill them
We'll
up.
have yeah, cheer Mo. But that was the great Mo. Football, if you listen, hey, relax. Relax. Okay.
I'll see him next. We'll see him. We'll see him next week. We'll see what
Oh, for
happens.
sure. Next week we'll see him. May even see him tomorrow. If people are around for that after those semis for tomorrow go through. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think Mo is pretty succinct with that Mali versus Senegal matchup. Let me kill some of these comments here before we talk about that matchup here. All right, checking in Lansley. I see you, Pastor. I see you. Listen, if Cameroon needs some prayers for post Afcon. So Lansley, if you want to hook up with Anu, they could prayer meeting on a Wednesday will do great for you, both of you too. Lesotho, I'm sure, assuming that's for Nigeria. That's a point which came to the point here. Who has Nigeria really beat from Sansan? Their defense has been mid. Sounds like somebody might be salty. Son, I said, putting on the haters hat. I was very specific with that. You have to differentiate and be very straight with that. We saw pissed off Osimhen against a Zanzibar team and cause destruction for a day. I'd rather him just focus on the opponents as opposed to the two other times Lookman didn't give him the champagne pass. Look, when you're that, we have this conversation over and over again. I'd rather my top players show emotion. Now, is there a time and place for it? Yes, but at least I know that it's there versus them just kind of not communicating, not showing that. I need passion. I need energy. I hate that I just referred more passion, more energy. But I'd rather have that known than not really shown at this point. And we can kind of go from there. Team of the tournament so far. That's a good question. I don't know. I think I'll let you ponder that for a second. If you look at the teams that have played so far, who is your team of the tournament so far? I mean, the easy question would be: is it Morocco or is it someone else? Um, I I want to say let me see the semifinalists because I feel like it's okay. Oh, you're going team like best 11 of the tournament. Oh, I thought you meant actual like which nation has performed the best. So we can look at it either way. But for you, which nation for you has performed the best out of the ones that are still remaining in the round of 16 here?
I would say Senegal. Best of literally the best all around roster I've seen this whole AFCON.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since the group stages, completely have convinced me very well. The only problem is that Nicholas Jackson needs to mature up.
Hmm.
That's my problem. That's my problem because I have a lot of believance in Nicholas Jackson. Him being immature like that, especially when you get the role of being the number 9 for the team,
Mm.
for the team, it's not like you, man. You got to step up, dog.
No, I think that's fair, especially when it feels like they are Senegal are giving him every opportunity to take the keys to the kingdom, right? And I think this is going to be this next 7 months are going to be huge for a lot of his, for unfortunately, for his legacy. Because at AFCON, even if he scores a goal, like it'll do so much for him. Then he has the World Cup as another stage. Like Senegal are ready to give him the keys and say, like, you're gonna lead the line, go. But if he doesn't make the most of those opportunities, right, you don't want this to turn into a situation where it's just, well, he's the most talented player, but he doesn't show anything. And you don't want to be a potential player until you're potentially 32, because at some point you are what you are, right? Developmentally, there are late bloomers, don't get me wrong, but at some point you are what you are as a player. And so for Jackson, without putting all the pressure onto him, I think it's a fair conversation to say he does not just maturing, but he needs to make the most of his opportunity, because though he is the name right now and a lot of people are looking, okay, he could be the next in line. There's enough in the diaspora that you can look and say, I mean, he's a name right now, but I'm sure they can find a couple more to kind of push through as who your best team or who could lead the line past Sadio Mane and the likes at the top of that. So I think it's a fair point in terms of maturity. Best 11 of the tournament so far. I like that, actually. You know what? Let's let's play around with this idea right now. I like this. Let's play with this here. All right, so we're gonna go our best 11 so far.
By the way,
Yeah,
Prince underscore Hood 16. I see your comment saying they need to bring me back. They say I need to come back
yeah.
to the stream after Algeria beats Nigeria.
Oh, it started.
Yeah,
It's great.
I'll
Yeah.
be back. I'll be back. I'll be back just to say, hey, look, what did I say? You know,
Mm, that is fair. So for the few here that are here, right? Let's talk about what our team, not even a team of the, what is our team of the tournament so far? All players. Let's talk about it here. I've seen some names: Bunu for goalkeeper, Brahim and El Kabi, and then Ahmad is all you got at the moment. I think it's a fair Jackson or El Kabi. I think that's not. It's El Kabi to me. I
yeah,
think El
yeah,
Kabi
I'll copy the
is
bike, man.
yeah. He'll get on his bicycle and show us, and it's not just, oh, he just scores bicycles, but he is, to me, the player. He's your nine, no doubt about it. So Bunu, that's done.
This probably a kid, right? It's probably a kid with a bike somewhere in Morocco, just spray painting Al Kabi on there.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah,
most definitely. Let me swap formations.
I mean, yes, I understand, son, that he's been okay, but the fact that he didn't start all against Mali is a problem to me. And of course, I did listen to the commentary, and they're talking about how immature Jackson is, which made me rise as a concern.
And again, it's a fair point to bring up. I do think at the end of the day, he has a big opportunity here. And so, and yeah, and Jackson has been okay, but I think in terms of what he could be, I think that's where you have to look and say, at some point, you can no longer be, you can no longer be the player of just potential. You have to be the player of now. And right now, he has opportunity to be the player of now. So I think he should take it, because if not, he's not in the position where he can just kind of coast off that. I think that pool of players is far too deep for him to not be able to get away with it, right?
Yeah, I know because you could totally lose your spot.
Mm-hmm. Coolly cool. All right. Let's line up builder this year. There's a reason why Jackson sent was sent from Chelsea to Germany. Yeah, he's got to figure out the finishing. And behind that player, I think that could work. Let me throw that up here. We're lineup building this. Our best 11 so far. So the only things that I've gotten for sure, and I can agree with that, is we have Bono as our goalkeeper. We have Brahim Diaz on the right, and then El Abi. Danny, nobody cares about Danny Elvis right now. All right.
Hey, Stefan, honestly, I just think they sent Jackson away to Germany because they wanted to get him away from that OnlyFans model he was asking for pictures from.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair. That's fair. And then Ahmad, yes, Ahmad Diallo certainly gets in. And now you get to see me suck at spelling.
Are they talking about Ahmad? Are you talking about Ahmad Mamouche from Egypt?
No, no, no. You're talking Ahmad, the Ivorian, Ahmad Diallo.
Oh, Ahmad Diallo.
Yeah,
My bad.
adding H's when I don't need to. They need to update their. They need to
My
update their
apologies.
database. See, this is the problem with African sport. You only know the guys who play in Europe. Unbelievable.
I
All
know,
right.
right? Yeah, yes, Princeton. I am familiar with the thing. I saw the video and I was really pissed off and cussed him out many times because he's literally letting this woman control his mind, and that's what led to him just like completely sucking. And this is coming from a person, like I said, I remember when he played during the preseason in that preseason before the summer series in Atlanta, and I even met the
Mhm.
guy and even just said like, "Bro, you're doing so well, man. Keep it up this season. I believe in you." So I had a
Yeah.
lot of believance in Nicholas Jackson, but he just been a but he just keeps on squandering, because I know he has that potential. Even Didier Drogba said to himself that he has that potential.
Yeah. All right. So we have four players in. Guys, we're filling out our team of the tournament. We need a midfield and a back line. Who do we got? Who do we need? And look, I'm not going to
Well, you
be
better.
holden to keeping players in spots. I do think there's an argument that a Mo Salah could be in your best 11, but I don't look. I don't. I guess I'm not into the weeds like y'all because look, live your lives. But I guess I'm not into the weeds like the rest of y'all are. Um, but good for him, I guess. Question mark. Good.
No, no, don't
But
even.
anyways, let's get back to this team. Yeah, yeah, we won't even
Let's not play in the snow, man.
because what did thing? Let me go back to CAF here because CAF had a team of the group stages, and I think we can build. But that was a little bit of a, it was a little weak. I'm gonna lie. We'll throw that up and see if we want to take things from that and put it onto what our team of the tournament so far for our AFCON is. But let's come on. I'm up for suggestions. Let me know, and then also, guys, just what did you think of the semis as we go? Injai coming in. Well, would you put him more as a cam? Do you prefer him over Lookman? Would you take him over Lookman based off of how Lookman has, for lack of better words, looked? Right? NJ over Lookman. I think it's a fair argument one way or the other. I think NJ with the goal is fine here, but I'd give it to Lookman if people I'd listen to it. I would certainly listen to it. I'm looking at let me find this calf best 11 that they had for. There you are. Okay, so this is what calf's best 11 was. Their ah dark mode. I've missed you. Okay, their best 11 they had Tapsoba, Twazebi, Masraoui, Baleba, Abdi, Lukman, Brahim. They put Brahim in the midfield, and they put Mane, Ahmad, and then Mahrez as your top. I'm willing to listen to everyone here.
Oh yeah, they can all make it up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Wait, why is Njai playing on the wing for Senegal? Lukman is clear. Okay, we'll put Lukman in our. We'll put him in our lovely spot there. So we'll put Lukman here.
I'll be right
Alrighty.
back. Let me go to the bathroom.
No, no problem, no problem. So we got Lukman there. That's not bad. We have. Let me open this in the. This is what the CAF Best 11 after the group stage was, right? So you had Baleba, you had Masraoui. I think Masraoui goes in, no questions asked. So they have El Shwani as the goalkeeper, and even for goalkeeper, I would entertain putting Lucas Zidane there. All right, no Ivory Coast winger as well. Well, the Ivory Coast, well, Ahmad got put up there, so that's where it would be. I would argue, I know Bono's been good, but I'm not trying to get brownie points with Zizou, but like, you know what? Lucas been good. I'll give him goalkeeper of the tournament so far. I am actually going to give him goalkeeper of the tournament. Bono, I love you. You're born in Montreal, though no one really will ever acknowledge that. But I I want to. I'm putting Zidane there. All right, Lucas Zidane, goalkeeper. I'm putting him as the goalkeeper there. Mazraoui. Mazraoui goes in on the right side. Alrighty, all right. Perfect. Who else do we have here, guys? Let me know. Has 3 clean sheets and 1 goal. That was conceded was a pen. Yeah, and Algeria, have they conceded a goal? Algeria haven't conceded a goal. I would go with, yeah. If I look at that, yeah, I'm pretty sure Algeria have not conceded a goal. Yep. Oh, 1 goal against. My bad. Who did they concede? Oh, Equatorial Guinea. Yeah, Ensu. One goal in open play. Okay. But outside, I think you can pick either or. Yep. All right. Luca has 3 clean sheets. All right. Yep. Not, yeah, I know it's sheets. Don't worry. Third name. Okay. Yep. 1 goal against the second keeper. That's fair. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong one versus the other. So I can accept either. I put Luca, but if you want to go Bonu, that's fine. So this is what we have as our team of the tournament so far, right? You have Diallo out wide, El Kabi is your 9, Brahim Diaz up top. That's your attacking line. Misraoui out right. I've put Luca, but I'll hear you for Bono there, and then Lookman in the middle as your 10. I threw up what CAF put up there just for some reference and motivation if we want to fill that up. But so again, I put in Luca for now, but I can hear you for wanting to put Bono there. Both have only conceded 1 goal. One was a penalty, one was an open play. So we won't split hairs over it. We can go one or the other. But center backs. Let's go center backs. They had a Tapsoba and then Twazebi. So those were their center backs there. Do we like those as our center backs? Do we have better center back options for a best 11? Talk to me, chat. Talk to me.
Hey, notice how they have Lucas Zidane under France.
Hey, this hasn't been updated in years, apparently. Even when I build this with Canadian players, I can't even find players. I'm like, listen, look, El Kabi, Brahim Diaz isn't even here. So like we out here on this. I like this one because I can put the names in and then it works a little bit easier that way. But you know what? We're gonna go. I'm gonna stick with the center back duo that they have there. Twanzebe and then Tapsoba. Those will be my center backs. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
If only transfer market had that feature, that would be nice.
Oh let's message Manuel. See if he can change something. And then Twanzebe. Okay, so we'll go Twanzebe as our center back duo. There we are. That is set. So we'll call that as it is. Left
That
back.
that is not a bad backline, especially since those two did wonders keeping everything keeping that wall intact
Mm,
from the opposition.
that's fair. That's fair. Tapsoba and Ben Sabani played good on the group. I think that's a fair shout. Let me look at Ben Sabani here. What he did here. Yeah, for Algeria, as that's not a bad shot for Ben Sabani. 3 matches played, pretty much most minutes there. Solid. I don't hate that choice. That is not a bad choice for a name, no doubt. For AFCON, I can live with either of those, but solid choices that you're bringing in here, no doubt. We're building our best 11 so far. For those of you who are swinging by, and also if you haven't, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Who have you liked so far? What do you think of these quarterfinal matchups here? We have Morocco and Senegal through to the semis. They'll be playing the winners of games tomorrow, respectfully. But we're also building our best 11. So if you have a player you think deserves to be in this, let me know. If you have a player who you don't think should be in here, let me know. And we'll flow with there. Left back. Left back for here, they gave it to Abdi from Tunisia. Is that the left back we want to go to? Do you want to follow CAF for that? Or do you have another option you have out there? Talk to me. Talk to me. Because if we look at the teams and how they've played, Cote d'Ivoire haven't conceded. Well, only conceded 3 goals. We could take a player from them. We could look at Algeria, only conceded 1. There's a lack of Senegalese players here, which is quite alarming to me. And I know Mo will message me and ask me why haven't I put more players into it. But let's actually take a look at what we
Yeah,
have
I
here
mean,
for.
I'm surprised nobody from this saying anything about Sadio Mane.
I think there's a fair shout. Okay, and that's fair. Abdi or Ait Nori isn't a bad. If I had to give it to one, I'd probably give it to Abdi. I think, well, even though I do like Ait Nori, I'm a Wolves fan, so Ait Nori will always have a special place in my heart. You were with us in the terrible days. Now we're in the hell days. But either of those two aren't bad choices and shouts. I'll go Abdi because I think that's a good shout, even though they did fall out in the round of 16. So we'll put an Abdi there, and hopefully this has him because if they don't, look at him work. Look at him. All right, so we have our back line. So you brought up Sadio Mane, and I think that's a fair point. So what CAF did is they had Mane up, and then they had Mane and Mahrez up, Ahmad up there, and then Lukman and Brahim were basically your 2 8s in a 5-2-3. I don't hate the idea. The problem becomes how are you setting up, and does that allow you the flexibility to put the players in? Because I think that's what ultimately is going to create the issue once we get to these midfield players. Is if you want to argue and say, well, we can just put Brahim into the middle, cool, you can do that. But then are we costing now another midfielder who's performed there? Does Iliam Injai deserve to be there? I would argue yes. I think he has been good. But will someone be upset if we go there? Actually, let me go to not a 4-3-2-1, 4-1-2-3. There we go. Iliam. No. You guys get to see my inability to remember how to spell names. Lovely. Because if we put Njayev and Lookman as your dual eights, that's not terrible. That is not terrible at all. I actually like that idea too much. So we're gonna go with it. And unless someone tells me not to do it. So let's put our dual eights there. So we'll put Njai there. Really? Thank you. You guys scare me sometimes with your lack of players. All right. So this is our best 11 so far. I've gone with a 4-1-2-3. It's a 4-3-3. Let's not pretend. Most of the North African sides, there is a as an 8 you'd put Iwobi over Lookman. That's fair. I think that's a fair point. And since you've watched most of the North African sides, is it a crazy take to say Algeria have been? You know what? I'll ask you: who's been the best North African side? Has it been Algeria or Morocco in terms of just how they've played? You tell me. I'm curious to see what your answer is. As an 8, you put Iwobi over Lookman. You could, but then now you have the sixth question if you want to play it as a 4-1-2-3, right? It would be wild to say let's put Iwobi as your 6, but I mean we're here. we might as well. Who would you put in as your midfielder or your 6 here for your team, your best of AFCON so far? Who would you put in?
Oh, who would I put in this 11?
Yeah.
Sheesh. I mean, like I already said Mane because how's Mane not in it? Because the guy's been all over the place, front, back, in the middle.
Yep.
I do like that. I do like a lot of people have been giving Iwobi his flowers. Lookman has been very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. But no, peculiarly, I haven't seen anybody put in the what's that? Who's that one player? It's in my mind to my tongue. Yeah, I mean, shoot, no one put on that Malian goalkeeper, man. I love that Malian goalkeeper. I mean, Luke is good, but that Malian goalkeeper was amazing, especially in that
He did.
shootout.
Yeah. Fair. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Crap, what's his name? Because I mean, this is a good enough squad all around. All around, I do agree with most of this. I just think I've seen a lot of great defensive ball from
Mm-hmm.
this tournament. That it just that you could put almost anybody that's in that back, and it's still a very good starting 11 that you can argue with.
No, I think that's more than fair because like the 11 that we just constructed, like there's not enough. The reality is there aren't enough strikers. There aren't enough strikers for it to work. Because what you would do is to fit everyone in properly, instead of this being a 4-3-3 effectively, based off of the players you have access to, you make it a 4-4-2, and then you either drop Lookman or Ndidi, and then you put in Sadio Mane as your second striker with Al Kabi. Then you have Dial Ahmad on one side, you have Brahim on the other, and you keep your back four the same for the most part. I know you just said Amrabat, which Bonucci is underrated. I do think. Do you think he's getting hit? I think he's getting some good looks in this tournament now. Do you? Yeah, you can go. You can't go wrong with how you want to put this best 11. To be honest, because I think there's probably a solid at least 17 players you can put into it. There's at least 2 goalies. based off how it is. I think it'd be interesting if you, instead of doing this now, you pared this down by round and said, okay, who are your best 11 of the quarterfinals? And then once you get to the semis, who's your best 11 of the semis? And then do that from there. But for the whole tournament, I think you could go wrong in terms of, you can't go wrong in terms of the teams and the players that have shown well so far, right? What's your take? You think a lot of players have used this platform well enough to remind people of what their actual level is, slash introduce people to what their level and potential could be? You've seen some good names that you're going to be interested in following after this tournament for you, Anu?
Yes, definitely. I just hope that that people that the club see, this is a big problem for me because there a lot of these players have been playing phenomenally. But the thing is, though, the bigger clubs would not touch them because of the fact that they have to go off for AFCON. You know,
Yeah.
that's why you had the likes of. That's why I said in the beginning of this tournament, I was like blown away how both Chelsea and Arsenal doesn't have a single African player in playing in the AFCON. All our African players play for different European teams and also
Mhm.
England. But no, we didn't have a single African player playing in our Chelsea squad that's playing in the AFCON. And I mean, if you ever been to Stamford Bridge, I mean, if you ever went to Stamford, there's a place that's called the Shed Wall, which is like basically like a Hall of Fame of the best Chelsea
Yeah.
players in the best Chelsea players in since of all time. I mean, I saw Drogba and Miguel on there. I mean,
Mhm.
that's Cote d'Ivoire and that's Cote d'Ivoire and in Nigeria right there. And then we also had Essien, Kalu, like some like they're the reason why Chelsea has a grip on Africa.
Mhm. No, that's true. And it's a very fair point. And so I think it does build a brand. The problem is, again, as we've said throughout all of our coverage and just videos on this, it was just and continues to be the most just inconvenient tournament for European football, right? It happens
Mm-hmm.
frequently enough that it's just so the most inconvenient for them. And so you do have situations where you'll have big clubs and say, do we want to risk to have all those players go through all that? And my response is always, then build better teams. Nothing stops you from building a deeper team, right? You have players, you have teams who will
I
have,
also
yeah.
I also think that because of the social engagement Africa has been getting the last few years, you started to see you started to see the coaches start talking, complaining more about it.
Hmm.
The Jurgen Klopp thing, I remember that way too well when he
Hmm.
called the AFCON some little tournament. It's some little tournament in Africa, and oh
Well, people were not
man,
happy about that. I agree.
yeah, exactly. I remember, and because he was losing Mane and Mane
And Salah, yeah.
and Salah, and I had Liverpool friends who were like a little bit mad about that, and then they were kind of like divided when they were both playing in that final, in that farm. But I was like,
Hmm.
hey, dude, I got Edouard Mendy, man. I cheer for Senegal all the way.
True, 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 true. No,
Yeah, exactly.
no, that's fair. But
So,
but
um,
I will, yeah, yeah. Finish up there.
but I think the best part about it in the end of it all, like I said, when he said that, and people actually got to see more, as more and more people started getting engaged in AFCON and realized how beautiful this thing is. And I absolutely love in the end when Senegal won it. You had Didier Drogba tweeted like, "This little tournament means a lot for these people," and you just see like a bunch of you see the Senegalese people celebrating. They're
Hmm.
celebrating their third AFCON, winning their third AFCON in of all time, So
Yeah,
AFCON's here to stay, but I like I said, I am gonna weep when they go to that 4 year cycle still. And like I said,
it.
Cap,
Yeah,
it's not too late. 2 years, man. Bring it back to 2 year cycle
it's
though.
not too late. No, for
It's
sure.
not too late,
Nope.
bro. This tournament's too good. You see, like, look at the matchups here, man. There are people who are looking at these matchups and saying, you can make an argument for any single one of these teams to win the AFCON. You don't see that
Yeah.
yeah. And the best part about it is we don't have the best part about AFCON is we don't have own goal as a golden boot leader. Remember that.
Hey, Sudanese fans are a little upset with you right now, okay? Own goal is vacant. Okay, they did some good work in this tournament. But no,
Yeah, but
it's there hasn't been a terrible goal other than a couple flubs. There hasn't been a terrible game other than a couple games. It's been wall to wall, entertaining, compelling football. And that's all you can ask for in a continental tournament.
no, I'm just referring to like the last Euros where like own goal was up like 9 and it was they were in was up 9, meaning they were like the golden boot winner.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Yeah.
like,
You love it. But yeah, it's all fair points. And again, I love what CAF has done with engaging with the content creators and that. I know I didn't get my invite to the diaspora tour. Hey, come. I'll be ready for the diaspora tour. But there's two questions in terms of who do we have winning the tournament, but then who do we like in the matchups for tomorrow? Let's go with matchups for tomorrow first. Ask the question here, and I'll throw it up on the screen for you guys to know what your matchups are if you aren't aware of them as of yet. But we have two sets of matchups coming tomorrow, which will be very fascinating. We have Egypt versus Cote d'Ivoire, and then you have Algeria versus Nigeria.
yeah, tell the truth, friends. Tell the truth. More entertaining than the Euros. You already know what it is. I
Hey,
mean,
no one's denying you there, son.
yeah,
No
we
one
ain't
is
gonna deny
denying
you.
you.
I mean, the what's it called? The locker room interests alone beats out the Euros by bar none.
Yeah.
You know.
Again, no lies have been stated so far.
Mm-hmm.
But when we get to it, let's throw up what our matchups are for tomorrow here, so you guys can see them again really quickly with my not properly screen. What type of host am I? So here we go. So we have tomorrow. We have Egypt versus Cote d'Ivoire. Let's start with that matchup. For you, Egypt wins because of blank, and then Cote d'Ivoire wins because of blank. And then ultimately, who do you have winning?
Okay. So the first matchup, of course, is Algeria and Nigeria. Of course,
Mhm.
I have said it before. I keep saying I'm dying on this hill. Nigeria is gonna beat Algeria. I am sorry to my Algerian brothers and sisters. I know some really good Algerians, but this is where they're gonna have to stop. As for as for the other match, I think I believe Egypt can get past, even though I absolutely despise the Egyptian national team.
Okay. Well, I'd say it's a fair point. Here's where I see it, and I'll try to break it down by answering this way. I think for Egypt versus Cote d'Ivoire, there is great talent on the Egyptian side, and I said this after they got past Benin. If Egypt wins, if Omar Marmoush shows up and balls out, because they can't rely strictly on. And it was great they got some more goal scorers and they distributed the wealth that way. But Egypt only beats Cote d'Ivoire if Marmoush balls out. That's the only way. Cote d'Ivoire wins if they continue to be the side of if they continue to be the side of, oh, by the way, they won this 2 years ago and we don't take them seriously. And we just they as a champion, they could easily be into the semis and have dispatched everyone. I worry about Egypt because this is a different size of physicality for them to deal with now. Not to say that they can't handle it, but It's the length and then the attrition that's going to happen. I think I think Cote d'Ivoire goes past as much of the story of Salah winning this to shut up he who shall not be named. I think Cote d'Ivoire wins this, and I think because they've just been a solid team and they have been just operating well. So I think the high end talent can save them Egypt wise, but I do think Cote d'Ivoire goes through. When it gets to Nigeria versus Algeria, I know you're Algerian. You're saying I think it goes. You think it goes through tomorrow? Nigeria goes through tomorrow. I think Nigeria is the best offensive team in this tournament. I don't think that's a far stretch. I think for stretches, Algeria can play up and down game with Nigeria. They can't do it the whole game, and so I think for Algeria to win, oh, they have to be efficient. They have to be efficient. The
Mhm.
chances they have to equal one and celebration on the sidelines. They they cannot have many empty trips when they have breaks or possession or set pieces. They need to make the most of them. And for Nigeria, Nigeria wins is if they just can outscore their problems. You know how you avoid having Stanley as a shaky goalkeeper? Ask him to make one real save a game. And you know how you ask him to make one real save a game? When you have three at halftime. And so if Nigeria continues to outscore their goalkeeper, which to me I think is one thing that holds them back for being the best team in Africa, it's their goalkeeper to me. I think they go through. The one thing, again, like we said this earlier, if you're going to be the hater, this is going to be Nigeria, the best team Nigeria has played. Can they handle having to slow the game down and manage the game that way? We saw Algeria do it against DRC. Can they do it against a team that won't just run and create some chances, that will go and create chances? I think the higher scoring this game is, the better it suits Nigeria. The lower scoring this game is, it suits Algeria.
So you're hoping for a shootout.
I don't know what I'm hoping for, but I think if it's 2-1, 3-2, 60 minutes into this game, I know that's not how Algeria wants to play. They can play like that for stretches, but not the whole game. I think Nigeria is fine saying, "Listen, all gas, no breaks. Let's go." Like I think Nigeria will be fine if this game ends 6-3 and they've scored six. I mean, the three will be a question, but they're fine with that. Algeria, I think, will want to win this game a little bit more, a little closer of a game. But can you defend and give up all the set pieces, all the headers, and only come out with conceding no goals? That's the question, right? We're gonna find out one thing for sure about both sides. We're gonna find out, okay, Luka Zidane, you're gonna see how good you are, and then we're also gonna see for Nigeria if they're performing how they've been performing in this tournament. I don't know. Like genuinely, I don't know. Part of me thinks it should be Nigeria, then part of me thinks it'll probably end up being Algeria. Like if this game feels like it could be a high scoring game, the longer it goes tight, the more I feel it's going to be. Look, Mares on a set piece, 68th minute. I call it the chaos hour. Once you hit 65 minutes, everything happens in AFCON games. So Nigeria have the talent to win this game. I this is honestly the toughest one for me because I don't know who I want to go with. It's like 60% Nigeria, 40 Algeria. I think that's fair. I'm going to change one thing. I think Algeria wins this game I think Algeria needs to be ball dominant on this game to get the result they want. Right? They need to hold the ball and they need to suck the air out of the ball. Like you cannot. This can't be an up and down game. This they have to. Algeria needs 60% possession for me to look and say they have a chance. I think if it's 50-50, it feels more like it's an up and down game. And maybe they can stay with it for a bit. But I think Nigeria has too much attacking players to go through. Like I genuinely like this is genuine. I haven't given an answer because I keep talking myself one way or the other. I don't know. I'm gonna go
Dude,
right now. I'll just pick a side. I'll go because I'm more fascinated with this semifinal matchup. I'll go Nigeria because I would love to see what Nigeria versus Morocco looks like in that game for the semifinals. So I'll go Nigeria, but I am not fully convinced for either side. But we're going to find out how good the Nigerian attack is, and we're going to find out how good the Algerian defense and Lucas Zidane is. We're going to find out tomorrow, most definitely. I talk myself into so many circles on this, but yeah, it's such a tough call.
oh, and believe me, you're right. It is like the way how I mean, even though yes, I'm convincingly believe Nigeria's going to win, but this is going to be this the back and forth. You said it's we're probably this is what we're going to be looking for real. This is probably going to be like this is going to be the ultimate matchup.
Mm.
The
No,
ultimate
I
matchup.
yeah.
Mhm. This is going to be the ultimate matchup we've been looking forward to during this whole competition. And it sucks though. It's going to be the 11 o'clock game. It's not going to be the 2 o'clock because I bet you after that the Egypt Ivory Coast is just going to keep us. It's going to just coast us until the other football game plays.
Yeah. I don't think Egypt versus Cote d'Ivoire is going to be close.
Mm,
I don't just how Egypt has looked to me. They don't look like I can see that like I can see Cote d'Ivoire winning that game like a convincing like a 3-1.
mhm.
Like and like the thing is each if Marmouche shows up, it's a different game. Don't get me wrong. If Marmouche shows up for Egypt, I think they have a chance. But if they're playing as they're playing, uh, if they keep on playing as they're playing, like if they look like they did against Benin, not able to finish, it's Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire are playing how no offense, how Cameroon were feeling walking into this game, right? Like Cameroon felt like they had a shot. No, Cote d'Ivoire are walking to this team like, no. We have the opportunity. Don't get it twisted. And so, yeah, I think it's a fair point either. I think you can go either way, but I don't think Cote d'Ivoire versus Egypt will be particularly close. I think it will be because, like, those moments, I think Salah and Marmouche, if he's on his game, they can get you 2 goals. I just think Cote d'Ivoire will get more. Which comment are you talking about? Because I haven't deleted any of your comments are here. Maybe someone has somewhere else, but I haven't. So if someone's doing that, don't do that. But I think that will be the more lopsided of the results. If Algeria versus Nigeria is lopsided, that'll be like if Algeria thrashes Nigeria or vice versa. I would be, to be honest, I'd be least surprised if Nigeria. No, no, I think this is the best matchup. Algeria is just getting all the best matchups so far. It's like, ooh, them against
Yeah,
them. So Algeria gets another match of the round. But
yeah, I get it. Yeah, definitely. But as for Egypt, I know you said that you want Mo Salah to win so that he can make a case and shut up the guy who should not be named.
yeah,
To be honest, I mean, no matter what happens, even if Mo Salah has left a lasting legacy at Liverpool more
hmm
than what the other guy has ever done. I mean, yeah, he won maybe like what one Champions League, but he had let's see, but Mo has won a Champions League, the two Premier Leagues, FA Cup, EFL Cup, and golden boots galore. I
Hmm.
mean that. I mean the guy that guy is shit for brains on Sky Sports, so he can just. So that's all I'm saying, and I'm not saying his name because he doesn't deserve our respect, but at the same time, I got Liverpool friends who love him and
Hmm.
they hate when I badmouth him, but I still badmouth him in front of him.
Hmm. No, and that's fair. Like I think ultimately because we have Algeria versus Nigeria 7 times, 3 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. So it's pretty much bang equal. Like I don't think that game ends lopsided. I'd be shocked if one team I think score wise it could look lopsided, but it might be one of those games where like maybe it ends 4-1, but then the other side is saying if we hit like 3 posts and if we don't hit 3 posts is a different thing. I think that's different. But for Salah, the one thing I'll say for him, and I think his legacy in Europe isn't done. But if you look at Mane, right? Mane has the AFCON at least, right? Mane has done everything Salah's done, but he has the AFCON. At least he has that. That's the one thing they don't have from each other. And at their peaks, you could argue one was better than the other. Right now, last year at parts, Salah was the best player on the planet, right? No hesitation. And like his team will hold him back. I think there's more expectations for him for his team. And I think the bar is a little bit lower because he doesn't have an offensive or just a fully talented side that Senegal has. But the one thing Egypt struggled to do was get to the World Cup. He's got them there now twice. What they do there, we'll see what happens. But on the continental stage, this is like while everyone was yelling about who is the better Ronaldo or C7 or RC7 or CR7, sorry, for Saturday night, I'm done. Our CR7 or Messi in Africa, it was who was better during this era? Was it Salah or was it Mane? And Mane has the AFCON, right? Mane has the AFCON. Salah doesn't have that. And I think once Salah gets that, then it's like, okay, it's not more of a rounded conversation, but that's the one thing that the Salah fans don't have that the Sadio Mane fans will look and say he doesn't have. And so I think from that standpoint, everything else they
besides,
because they share the time at Liverpool, to me, it's like everything is equal there in terms of their time. But I think that's the one thing from the fans that I've spoken to, at least. So that's how I
but
look at it there.
besides that, my opinion about the Ballon d'Or really is that they don't really they only favor like for the I mean they really just favor mostly just European teams because I
Yeah,
mean mostly European teams, and then of course there was basically like Messi and Ronaldo basically dominated because I believe really to be honest, if in that 2019 the 18-19 season when Liverpool won the Champions League, that should have been like Salah could have easily could have made a case to
hmm,
win that Ballon d'Or, right? And I would say just like Lewandowski in the 2020 in the
yeah,
1920 season, except they had to cancel it. So I still say he got like he got robbed. Heck, so many African players have gotten robbed from the Ballon d'Or. That's why you only have the only African player that still won it is George
George
Weah
Weah.
back in '94.
Yeah,
But you had
hmm,
Atcho Atcho was a freaking shoe in, and they denied it from him. You know,
true.
yeah,
No,
they denied it
yeah,
from him for real.
and that's fair. Like, and that's why to me, I'm like, that's why, like, again, for anyone who's unfamiliar, I have a Hakimi agenda because I think he's our best chance for an African player to win it.
Yeah,
And what Hakimi has, he has AFCON, which they're already in the semis. I think they could make the finals depending who they play. We'll see the matchups. But then after that, I think Champions League they'll do well. And then he'll have the World Cup as well. He'll have 3 major international platforms to pro. And I think that'll push him a little bit closer to do it. Whether you think people rate it or not, he will have 3 international platforms to show, and his team will show that through. And I think that will give him the platform to get through. If not, they'll just give it to Lamine Yamal because they're dying to give it to him, and that's another conversation. But That's why
Who
my agenda is for this tournament. That's why I'm all gas on Morocco because I think that's our best chance to see it. But again, we'll have to wait
oh,
and see. Yeah,
also say this, like no hate on Dembele. Congratulations on him winning the Ballon d'Or, especially for a person that made such a huge comeback from his time at Barcelona.
Barca. Yeah,
Didn't work out very well, and he had a resurgence in PSG. But the only thing warranted, the reason why he won the Ballon d'Or was because of is really just because of the Champions League. I do not look at his. I don't really look at League On like that because I think League On is just it's not even a. To me, in my opinion, it's a top five league because it's better than the Eredivisie or the other or like the Austrian or all the other leagues, right? But in my honest opinion, it's too like he plays with PSG, man. PSG got money out the wazoo. It's only right now that Paris FC finally got money, so now they can actually compete with PSG.
but you can make that argument about any top heavy league, right? You could say the same thing about any player coming out of Bayern, right? That when Lewandowski should have won, are you going to say, oh, he should have won because he scored all the goals? The argument would have been he's playing in the Bundesliga, you know, other than a Dortmund or a historically great, like, because remember when they didn't win the league last year or 2 years ago, when now I forgot what the team that goes on the run they don't lose. Why am my mind going blank today? But
Oh,
like it
Bayer
took,
Leverkusen.
yeah, Leverkusen. Thank you. It took Leverkusen going on a historic, unbeatable run for them to win that. So are we gonna just? I think yes. The European season will always factor in more. That's just the reality of a European-based award, but the platforms give you a chance, right? And if we looked at Hakimi was like sixth in voting for that last year,
Mm.
right? And so that's why I say if he's there, he already has the profile. He's there. I think if you look at it honestly, the name they're trying to give it to is Lamine Yamal. They really want to give it to him, and that's look. At the end of the day, they're going to do what they want to do. But I'm saying, in order to get this award that some people care about and don't, Hakimi has three platforms. He has AFCON, he has the Champions League, and then he has the World Cup. If you want to add
he,
the French league into that, sure, you can add that into that. But he'll
he
have
already
three.
and he already won African Player of the Year too. Remember that?
Yeah, but I mean, Lookman won African Player of the Year. He's nowhere close to being the Ballon d'Or winner. Hakimi has a legitimate shot because of where the teams are. There's my only and one shot at Nigeria, unprompted in this whole thing, and so he has the
Yeah,
opportunity. He has the chance to go through, and I think that'll work well for him. Of all
I'll
time,
be
that's a show
so.
for another day. The all who's your all time African best 11? That's going to happen at some point. If you've taken
Oof.
that's happening at some point. We're doing that. But
I'll
to
be,
end this off, we have 6 teams left. Who are you picking right now to win? Right, we have 2 semifinalists and 4 quarterfinalists still left. Right now, who are you picking to win this tournament? You guys let me know in the comments here as well.
Hey, put him on the spot, man. Because, like I said again, it's too many good teams on here, man. Like Senegal is the strongest team I've seen so far in the Afghan, but also the Morocco has a home squad with them,
Mm-hmm.
the home squad with them. Nigeria is making a case considering the fact Nigeria is putting on a case considering the pressure that's on them to succeed. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, Algeria is trying to make up for lost time. Egypt's legacy is all about legacy with Egypt, and then Ivory Coast. They still want to continue to run and try to be the back-to-back winners of the AFCON, which we haven't seen in decades.
Yep.
So, yeah, like I remember, you see how I'm saying it. I'm making cases for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I still cannot put like I am straight up telling you I still cannot put out a winner in this. I gotta like literally I'm literally gonna be flipping a coin for each one of these games and
Mm-hmm.
just pencil it in because like you said after 65 minutes that's when the AFCON chaos factor rolls in.
Yep. If I have to pick a team right now, I'm just rolling with home cooking. I'm going Morocco right now. If I had to pick a second team, I would go Cote d'Ivoire. I don't think we're paying enough. Like Ahmad's been looking good, but Senegal have been solid. I think if it's Cote d'Ivoire who faces them, I think that's a battle for 90 minutes. If Algeria gets past Nigeria in the quarters, that's you might as well call that a derby, right? Them versus Algeria, Morocco versus Algeria in the semis, you might as well call it a derby and just stay home, put on a hat, and watch behind because it'll be cinema. But if I have to pick a team right now, I'm riding with home cooking Morocco. If I have to go another side, I think I go Cote d'Ivoire.
Dude, honestly, if it's Morocco versus Nigeria, if it's Morocco versus Algeria, you're gonna have to put yourself behind a steel cage, man. It's gonna be rabid at the home stadium.
That it will be. Yep. And then like Morocco's semifinal matchup, like I know we said it, it's fascinating whoever you get. You either get the regional derby or are they gonna play all gas? Right? And then on the other side, if Senegal plays Egypt, you have the Salah versus Mane matchup again in the semis. That's home cooked meal right there. Or
that's
Cote d'Ivoire, who just say, hey guys, we won this last time. If you could just brush aside, we want to win this again. But we will find out as it is. Tomorrow, we'll come back here and have a recap of the games that happened tomorrow. Again, you have Algeria versus Nigeria is the early game. Then Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire is the nightcap. Or if you're here in North America, one is versus the other. Guys, let me know in the comments, who do you have winning this tournament right now? If we get those matchups, let us know in the comments later as well what you think about it. We will wrap up here. We'll see you tomorrow. And as always,
Prince, I better see you tomorrow.
Yes, so he'll be here. Don't worry. I will make sure he's here. I don't care who's playing tomorrow. Jalen Hurts will hurt himself. We will be here. Okay, we will be here.
Man, no, give Prince a link. We get it, Prince. You want to get on the show? DM us. You need to get on the show so we can talk about this.
All right. Yo, I'll open up. Yeah, it's about time. Yeah, we'll do that.
You already said bet.
Yo, we got this. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as always, we'll just stop talking right here.